you got to know where you're at, right? And then you got to know where you're going.
Okay.
So our job isn't to make people rich,
Mm-hmm.
but most people, when they sit down with somebody, they don't even see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's my job to go, hey, Scotty, I see it. It's down there. Walk you through the process so you can see how to get out of it.
Welcome to the Miracle Academy. This is your host, Scotty Cooper, and this is where miracles are expected. Welcome to the Miracle Academy podcast. I'm your host, Scotty Cooper. Today I've got a great friend with me, Dan Ebert. Dan and I have known each other for quite a while, and we're working on a lot of different projects, and
Yes, we are.
we're looking at how to change education in a couple different sectors. So I'm excited for everything we're going to do together.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Scotty. It's a pleasure to be here.
Nice. So, Dan, I'd like to hear kind of your story and how you got started with what you're doing, and just kind of tell a little bit about what you're doing now.
Okay, cool. Well, I grew up in a tiny little town in the Midwest called Chicago, Illinois. I don't know if you ever heard of it or been there before, but I remember as a child, my parents always asking me to answer the telephone. And they asked me to answer the telephone because it was people, bill collectors, calling, wanting to know where their money was at, and my parents were never home. And that's what intrigued me about getting into what I do in business, because if you don't have a lot of money, there's zero financial education for people. So if you look at kids in school growing up these days, are they teaching them about money, Scotty?
No.
Not all. Don't you think there's a pretty big need for that?
Absolutely.
So I kind of got introduced to the company as a client. I was going to buy a restaurant about 9 years ago for $750,000, which I was going to have to go into debt for, right? And buy the restaurant. And instead, my friend invited me to see what he was doing. I came in, became a client. And then I was intrigued, and they told me they had profit sharing referral program and stuff like that. I'm like, well, I know a lot of people that need help. I'll just point my finger to you guys. And I got started very slowly, part-time, and then eventually, years later, we have over 100 agents all across America in 30 different states right now. And we're growing. We'll have about 250 by the end of the year and over 500 by the end of next year. So,
wow.
But I love doing what I'm doing, just like you do, just like you love what you're doing. And I am a client of theirs. They've helped me plenty. And I think part of my success in business over the last, year or so is due to some of the things, the energy that I have now because of what you guys have done for me.
Nice. So what specifically are you kind of doing now?
Well, as far as business?
Yeah.
So what we do is we take a low-key educational approach to, how people think about money. Mm-hmm. Most people, it's not required in states. In 46 states, it's not required financial education, right? And we're trying to get that out to the masses. So if they don't teach little kids about this stuff, they grow up to be big kids and they don't know about money either.
Right.
So we show them how to, come up with their FIN number, how to protect themselves with insurance, how to retire. If they need a college fund for their kids, we can help them with that. We can help them with wills and trusts. If they have credit card debt, we can help them with that. If they have student loan debt, we can help them with that as well. And we don't charge anything for our services, but we do get paid, right? We're more of a broker of anything else. But, how are you going to charge somebody, $2,500 for a financial plan if they can maybe save a few $100s a month to get started? So, we take a holistic educational approach, and we love what we're doing. We have 53,000 agents in our company as a whole, and, it's growing like crazy. So, show people taxes. People need to know about taxes, right, Scotty?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, if you look at the whole scope of things, the American government printed 30% of the dollars in circulation in 2020.
Wow.
So we're $30 trillion in debt. Social Security is running out. Medicare is running out. So for guys like you and I that have deferred accounts and 401ks and things like that, what do you think they're going to do to taxes for us by the time we retire? So do you like the amount of taxes you're paying right now?
No.
So you're really not going to like it later on when but they don't explain that stuff to people when they sign up for these programs. So we just kind of take them through to educate them about what they're doing, right? Get them a solid foundation.
Awesome. I think I've read a couple of the books you've kind of told me about, and it's opened my eyes a lot. And I like the way, like you said, you kind of take that holistic educational approach, which is pretty much what we do here with health.
Totally. It's like two of the same businesses in two different, sectors,
Right.
Health and wealth.
How have you seen what we do health-wise translate to your life now?
I came, just kind of my story here, guys. When I came to Cooperstown, I was about 6 years ago. And I came and I did one round and I thought I was fine. And I didn't come back for another 5 years. And then I woke up one day and I was feeling like crap. Yeah. I was feeling terrible. I was feeling foggy. My joints were hurting. I was stressed out. I was working a lot, but I really wasn't taking care of my health. And I came to you guys and it, not instantly, but I would say within, the first month, all this stuff started going away. When I first came here, I had a lot of toxicity in my body, heavy metals that were built up. And what I learned is, if you have a lot of heavy metals in your body, that can cause Alzheimer's disease, especially if it's in your brain. So, I want to make sure that if we're going to become wealthy later on, if we're going to teach people how to be wealthy, they need to be healthy so they can enjoy their money later on as well. And I'm on the right track and I'm just getting started again. But in my mind, my belief is you guys are going to add at least 20 years to my life. And if I think like that, it can happen. If I keep coming here and I'm consistent, I know it's going to happen for me.
Absolutely. What has this all done for you emotionally?
Well, when you're not healthy and you're toxic, you're a little imbalanced. Mm-hmm. Anybody ever feel like they're a little edgy sometimes, right? Because stress gets to you, life gets to you. My wife, because I suffer from ADHD. I don't know if you guys have ADHD, patients come in here, which you do. At least you have one, right? But my wife's like, you pay more attention. She likes that, right?
Yeah.
You pay more attention. You're more focused. My business is better. I would say our business has gone up since I've been coming here last year, 100%. We've doubled. We've doubled. And I'm not going to say it's all because of that. There's momentum, but I would say we wouldn't be there if it wasn't for the clarity I got, the structure I'm able to do because my focus is there. So, but yeah, I'm a huge advocate for Cooperstown. It's the best. It's the best, and nice. You guys take good care of us. So,
I'm so glad and that's like one of the things that we talk about a lot is, performance going up. Right. And a lot of times we think of it more with athletes, but we don't always talk about it in regards to business. So that's cool to hear how you've been able to just explode.
You have to be, it's called a business athlete. If you're in business and you're an executive and all these different things, you have to be an athlete. You got to take care of yourself.
Right.
I don't want to be there grinding it. I'm 42 years old right now. I don't want to grind it till I'm 60, be out of shape, mentally, not there, and pass away when I'm 60 years old. It would have all been for naught. So, taking the steps with you guys, I'm not going to argue with you guys when you tell me what to do. I'm not going to argue with the doctor, just like I hope people that are clients of mine don't argue with me with what we're trying to do. It's like, we're just the doctor here. We're just trying to show you, open up a door. It's your job to walk through it. And that's kind of how it is for you guys, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
what are some pearls of financial wisdom you could drop for me and for the people watching this?
Well, first of all, you got to know where you're at. Right? And then you got to know where you're going.
Okay.
So our job isn't to make people rich, but most people, when they sit down with somebody, they don't even see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's my job to go, hey, Scotty, I see it. It's down there. Walk you through the process so you can see how to get out of it. Most people, they're behind. A lot of clients I sit down with, they're like, I'm going to have to work till the day I die. Right? And I'm like, it doesn't have to be that way. Right. Same with you guys. I'm going to be in pain to the day I die. It doesn't have to be that way. So we take them through a full financial needs analysis. It's a holistic approach. How much money's coming in? What's going out? Most people don't balance their budget. They just look at their phone. They see how much is in their account. They don't know what's about to come out. And then all of a sudden they're negative. The banks took $10 billion away from their clients last year just in overdraft charges.
Oh, wow.
10 billion. It means they're taking money away from people that are already broke.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So we got to teach them how to balance their budgets. What's coming in, what's going out. If they're even, or if they're good at it, they got to figure out a way to make more money.
Yeah.
Right. Also we take them through, what's your FIN number? Have you ever heard of a FIN number before?
No.
It's called a financial independence number.
Okay.
Everybody's got one.
Okay.
Some people's number is $1 million. Some people's number is 10 million.
Got it.
Right. So how old are you right now, Scotty?
28.
So you're 28. What age do you want to retire at? Or have you thought about it? Like financial independence?
I'm not. For me,
I
I'm
know
so on purpose that I don't ever want to retire. But financial independence wise, I'd like to have everything paid off as soon as I can, probably within 5-10 years.
Okay. So if you want to retire in 10 years, you have a number. Like I said, it might be $1 million, might be 5 million.
Yeah.
So you're 28. Let's say 40, for example.
Okay.
I take you right here. You got to put a GPS in there.
Yeah.
Right? Scotty's GPS is 40.
Yeah.
How much money does he have to save by the time he's 40 years old?
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe it's $1 million. So we got to see where you're at, what investments you have already, at what rate they're growing. If you're short, we got to reverse engineer it. I can show you exactly how much money you have to save and exactly what product to hit that number by the time you're 40 and become financially independent.
Wow.
Right? But most people don't do it. They get it. If you were driving from here to New York,
yeah,
would you just wing it?
No.
Most people are winging it with their finances. They don't have any GPS on where they're headed, where they're going. So you can show them how to get out of debt quicker too.
Yeah.
So if they get out of debt quicker, they could save more money faster. So we can help people, if they think they're going to retire at 65, how'd you like to do 60? How'd you like to buy back 5 years of freedom on your life?
Right.
So we take them through the whole gamut, and it's awesome. Like I said, I was a client first, and I fell in love with the business, and going more in depth why I do what I do. Obviously, I told that story about the telephone, right?
Yeah.
My parents are divorced. When my mom was 62 years old, she had to collect Social Security early because she had no retirement. And she was living off $1,000 a month. So I had to make some sort of move to make more money. And that's why I was open to doing what I'm doing. And I was able to retire. I retired her in 2017,
Wow.
which was great. And she's 69 years old, and she's actually going to get licensed with us. She's like, I need something to do now. And you helped me out, so I'm going to help you out. But it's just awesome. It's cool. We started a family business. I work with my wife, Kate, here, who's awesome. We've got some really good mentors in business. Cash Rastan is one of them. Jeff Levitan is. I've got a really good guy, Michael Coleman. Ed Milet, if you guys know who he is, he's huge into personal development. But he's been one of my mentors in business, and follow him on Instagram and YouTube and stuff like that. But we have all kinds of help. So we're in business for ourselves, but we're not by ourselves, which is really cool. So,
where do you see the vision of what you're looking to create in this world? What's your vision of what you guys are going to be making?
Well, we want people to be wealthy and healthy, and you've seen it. I've brought everybody that's on my team, my personal team, over 100 agents to see you guys, because I don't want them to just make a bunch of money and be sick. I want them to be healthy so they can enjoy it and live it, but also be a part, of foundations that change the world. So I'm on the board of a foundation called the All for One Foundation, founded by a guy named Jeff Levitan, who is in our company. Basically, what they do is they go into third world countries, they find children that have been abandoned, and they build these things called prosperity centers for them. So at these prosperity centers, they have an orphanage, they have a hospital, they have a school, all on the same campus. So basically, these kids that were thrown away, there's a place for them, right? And is it going to take some time? Yes. Is it going to take some money? Yes. So the money we raise here, a lot of it, of our profits gets donated to some of these charities so we can make a real impact in the world. We're working on one in Sierra Leone right now. We've got a couple other in Africa. We're working in the Philippines, in Nepal. We're going into South America, things like that. Because if we can't help each other out, what good is life? We're here for a purpose. We're here to do good for others. And it's more than making money. It's about making an impact.
That's incredible. I know we've talked a little bit about kind of the foundation stuff, because we've got the Coop Foundation,
Sure.
which is the care of other people, where we sponsor people in our neighborhood more for healthcare and for at Christmas that you've helped support. And but yeah, when you were telling me about the foundation you're a part of, that's awesome.
Just makes you feel good, at the end of the day. Every journey starts with one step.
Right.
And if we can build some momentum, I think we can make a major impact.
What would you say to someone that? So first of all, I think, like you mentioned, like you feel like kids need to have this education.
Sure.
First of all,
Mm-hmm.
where do you even start? What do you think is like?
Here's the problem. We got to get it into the educational system. Unfortunately, in my opinion, the educational system is only set up for kids to pass tests these days. Right? They don't teach what you teach in physiology class and stuff like that. They don't teach financial literacy.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a systematic type thing. You've got to lobby to get into these schools. You can start in the private sector. So my old high school that I went to a school called Damien High School. It's in the city of Laverne. It's an all-boys Catholic school. I'm in talks with them right now. I would love to get an AP class for financial education into there and start with step one, and then teach a teacher to teach that, duplicate myself.
Right.
Somebody else can do that. And it has a trickle-down effect. These kids, if we can get in the schooling system, they'll know more than their parents.
Right.
But why not have their parents come to the classes with them too? There's all kinds of different ways you can play it. We just don't know, but we got to start somewhere. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that, I've talked about with some friends, is like, we were actually talking about this a couple weeks ago. Is like, why not read books like Think and Grow Rich when you're in high school?
Right.
And
that's a great book.
Yeah.
Actually, a friend of mine who's been a mentor of mine in business, his name is John Shin.
Uh-huh.
He bought the rights and he made a movie about the book Think and Grow Rich. It's the third highest selling book ever.
Wow.
So number one's the Bible.
Yeah.
Number two is Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And number three is Think and Grow Rich.
Oh, wow.
Right? Third most read book ever.
Wow.
Right? And he made a really good movie out of it, which is good. And people need to think about this stuff. It's visualization. They don't teach that. Right? They teach you not to daydream in class, don't they?
Yes.
Don't they teach you not to dream in class? Stop dreaming. Fill this out, right? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Right? There's no more critical thinking in schools.
Right.
They don't teach you how to critically think anymore, do they? Don't you think they should teach that?
Yeah.
How about if they teach you how to build a brand in high school?
Right.
Your own brand. How about if they teach you how to buy a car? How about they teach you how to buy a house or balance your budget? The stuff that you really need when you're growing up. I mean, you can find everything about history on Google, or what they claim it to be, right?
Yeah.
So, there needs to be a holistic breakdown of a lot of our systems that are put in place. But, it's going to take visionary people like you and myself and our companies and, the crew that you guys work with, to get it done. And it's not going to happen overnight.
Right. Absolutely. Looking forward to all those ways we can help introduce these to all these people that really need it. And I think it's going to change a lot of lives, and I'm excited for that.
Well, yeah.
You talk about like the visualization. In high school, some of my parents always kind of told me about that. And I was like, I was different than the other kids because I was doing stuff like that, and not everyone was. But
you're probably one in the whole school that was doing it.
Right. In high school, I had a coach on my football team, Coach Barrett, who played at USC, amazing person. He would have one of the last parts of practice for football. He'd have our whole group of D linemen lay down on the field with our helmets on, look up, and he would talk us through visualization.
Right.
And so, we're doing this, and other people are kind of laughing at us and stuff.
It works.
The first game we have our senior year, after we did this all summer, it was the best D-line performance I've ever seen in my life. I had a tackle for loss the third play. My boy Jody had a interception, a fumble recovery. My friend Jarrett and Jeremiah, they balled out. Everyone had like the game of their life. But it was funny because we all had visualized it before.
Yep.
And like since that moment, I was like, I need to do this all the time.
Yep.
And we did, and I continue to do it. And my wife and I do that. And like we at our business, we do it. We talk to our patients about it, and it's very powerful.
Thoughts are things, right? And if you can dream it and believe it, you can achieve it, right? That's the name of the game. And people think it's hokey. By the way, I thought all that stuff was hokey when I first started. Write down, have clearly defined goals in a written plan to achieve them, and read them in the morning and read them at night. I would tell you what, the people that do that make it happen. They did a Harvard study. I don't know if you ever heard of this, right? They took everybody that was graduating Harvard in one class. 3% of them actually had a business plan. They took this test, I think it was like over 10 years. 3% of them had a business plan coming out of school, what they're going to achieve in the next 10 years, right? Those 3% that actually had the business plan out-earned the rest of the 97% from Harvard in that 10-year period. Why? They knew what they wanted. They had a plan to achieve it. They believed it, and then it happened for them.
Wow.
Right? It's there's power. This thing we have here sitting between our ears is the most powerful supercomputer in the universe, and there's not an instruction booklet to it. Right? So we have to learn how to use it. Everybody's given this brain. Everybody's given a brain for free. Isn't it crazy? All the things we get for free, we value the least, and they're most important things we should value in life.
Wow.
So it's just awesome, man. And I love doing it. I would have never learned about any of this stuff had it not been for me being involved in our company with WFG and all that other stuff. But I love it.
Nice. Awesome. So for people that want to learn from you or follow you, where do they go?
Well, my handle on Instagram is at Dan Ebert B&H. You can reach out to me from there. You can send me a message. We have classes for the community. Every Saturday we teach classes. It's a 45-minute class. If you're on the West Coast, it starts at 11. 45 minutes. We teach about, this weekend we're going to teach about wills and trusts, how they work.
Oh,
People
wow.
have no idea how they work.
Yeah.
We'll teach about college funds one week. We'll teach about retirement. We'll talk about annuities. We'll talk about insurance. We'll talk about 401ks. You name it. Every Saturday is a different topic, over a 15-week span. And then we start over. So it's free to the community. Come learn.
Wow.
And look, we don't have any quotas. We're not going to push anything on anybody that they don't need. We're not going to chase anybody around their living room for their wallet. If they need our help, we're just opening a door and we'll help them.
Yeah.
Right. So, but it's a really, really great model that we have. And I'm just excited. I'm excited to partner up with you guys and, get my health in check.
Yeah.
Right. And we need more years to help the world.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
You're welcome.
It's really fun. I know you've told me about the Saturday classes, and I'm excited.
I'll come do a thing for everybody that you work with, but it's important to know. If you get nothing out of it, if you never become a client, whatever, that's okay.
Yeah.
I just want you to learn this stuff.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
So
cool. Thank you so much. So this was Dan Ebert, and this is the Miracle Academy podcast, and this is where miracles are expected. Thank you so much.
Cooperstown.